Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, Partial Bowling Alley. Aloha.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going, I guess. It's very hot, so I'm trying to not go very much. That's basically it's my plan currently.
Yeah, it is the heat. Heat really kicked on a lot. Like, quite ready for it.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, 85, 88, 85, 95. Like, what? No, stop. So, been stopping mostly is what I would do.
Yeah, have you been working on your skid slides and all sorts of stuff?
Yeah, not quite skid sliding.
Okay.
Not quite there. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, not a first day thing, right?
Oh, right.
A lot of the first day was just tweaking, like, oh, these handlebars need to come this way. Oh, this has to do, like,
So,
like all that weird little stuff,
Yeah. So, Brandon bought a bike. I guess we should give that background here.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a flip flop hub, single speed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So we have her on the fixed gear side right now, and just seeing what it's like. I've been very fascinated by those for like a long time. I feel like I've been thinking about this for like several years now, right? Like,
yeah, 100%. Same.
So it's one of those things where like I've been thinking about it for a long time, like, but because I'm me, I think about it for a while, and then I like completely forget about it for several months.
Sure.
And then I'll think about it for a little while, and then like it goes, you know what I mean? That's how I roll with lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
So like this summer I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Whatever. I'm gonna go for it. And so yeah, I got one. Put her all together. Got some stuff, right? I had to buy a special wrench, right? So get your lock ring wrench. Got to have one of those. So your,
Nice.
Gear stays in place.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Key.
But yeah, it's pretty fun so far. I've just been riding around the neighborhood, not going very far afield or anything like that.
How was the putting together? Did it come in pieces? Did it come partially assembled?
It's partially assembled. So like all the cranks and everything were on there. Basically I had to do like seat, bars, wheel, pedals. Boom. That was it.
Okay. Not terrible.
Not terrible. And just all the adjusting, like the chain tension. I might have it a little too tight right now, the wheel. So I might have to mess with that a little bit. Next step. But yeah, it was all basically there, and I just had to bolt it together. Oh, the brake. I had to put the front brake on, fiddle with that for a while.
Good.
Because I'm legally required by the state of Missouri to have a brake.
To have a front brake. Huh.
Yeah, you can't. You have to have a brake on. I looked it up. So
I know a lot of guys.
Plus, I need it because I don't know how to work it right. So
again, no skid stopping.
Especially when you're trying to go down a hill and slow downhill, it's helpful, right?
Yeah.
So I had to adjust that too because I put it on there and was like, "This brake is doing nothing." You like grab it, and it was just like it was so open that when you pulled it, it was just like sort of close on the wheel. Like so, I had to adjust some tension
on the rim.
Yeah, so I had to adjust some tension there, so it slams right down now.
Right,
good to go.
Love it.
Much better. Feels like it's actually doing something. That's useful. But it's a really weird. It's a weird feeling having the direct drive, like fixed experience for the first time ever is a weird one.
Well,
Very strange.
First time in a long time. Because, well, I guess when you have it in the fix, not flip flop, not
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not the freewheel. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that. It's like my BMX bike from back in the day. That's a single speed bike,
Right, but it's
Whatever.
not the direct.
Yeah. But the fixed one that's a very bizarre sensation. First of all, I haven't ridden a bike in a long time either.
Yeah, there's that.
So like we're doing a double whammy, right?
Right.
Actual bike and then new kind of bike. But mostly it was the low maintenance, like easy durability thing that made it was like the most intriguing part of this whole situation, right?
Yeah.
Like maintenance like 0, right? Oil the chain. Boom, got it. Like done.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I am right there with you. That's one of the reasons I really strongly considered it, because of the maintenance, right? It's like, okay, what is there going to break here? Not a whole lot. So I didn't pull the trigger on mine, so I'm very interested to hear how you're doing.
Yeah, I think you should. It'd be exciting. Especially because then you would still have like another bike too, right?
Sure.
It would be. That's the slightly more sensible way. That's the way most people do it, right? They like have a bike and then they go, oh, hey, I would also like to have one like this. Not like for your soul only bike.
Yeah.
But again, because I want it just for like mild exercise and like
Sure.
not looking to like travel many miles, just right now, just bombing up and down this road out here is like, hey, oh god.
Pretty cool. Nice.
So
love it.
That'd be cool. And then, again, if there is more fitness that comes, then you could go further, I guess. As right now, not going very far.
Then you're entering.
It's weird that like you look at things differently just on biking, right? Because you're like, oh, well, just especially this bike, because you're like, oh, that road's pretty flat.
No.
Just kidding. It's not.
It's a really good point. Yeah. Or like
even like big, long, slow, gradual climbs, you're like, and it's really odd, the sensation going from that. Then when you do find a road that's really flat, you're like, this is super easy to pedal right now. What's going on? You're just like, do. And then mild inclines, you're like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
My quads are going, whoa, what is this? What, you didn't tell us we were going to do this today? What do you...
Yeah. This is not what we had planned for.
We don't do this. What's happening?
Well, I'm sure too. Also, you're because you are constantly pedaling, you also have constant pressure and forces on you're right, on all aspects of your leg, because they're not, no one muscle is able to take a break, because as soon as you stop, you're doing resistance, because it's trying to coast, or it's trying to continue. But you're trying to slow down.
That's the wildest part, is when you are going to like slow down, when you start pedaling slower and the bike is like, nope, I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like it's not ready to do that yet. So you have this like pressure from the opposite direction.
Sure.
Going that way is a really weird thing. So there's a lot to get used to all at once. Plus also toe cages on a pedal. That's not an experience that I'm super familiar with at all.
Oh,
either.
I never liked those.
It's not so bad once you get going. Like you sort of need them on the fix because of the pressure in the opposite direction and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of mandatory. I know a lot of people just do like straps. They do like platform, like BMX style pedals with a strap.
Yeah.
That's a thing I've seen. This one just came with the toe cages, so I wasn't like in a hurry to just like buy all kinds of weird upgrades for things that I don't know if I need yet or not. that was
No, we'll get you some clips in soon. Have you clipping in and out.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like, you could just buy some, but then you got to buy a shoe and a whole thing. So
that was the part that was always frustrating because I had the clips. Was I wanted to bike to the coffee shop, bike to the park, or bike somewhere, and it was like, but if I do that, I've got shoes.
Yeah,
that I've got to figure out what to do with. And then it's like, well,
that is the
one. And you're like, well, now I've got a backpack. And it's like, well, what else can I put on a backpack? And then it's like,
now it's hotter, right? That is the benefit of the toe cage or the strap, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, you can just wear normal person shoes. So if you were going to go to a shop, which technically there are some in biking range of me, so but not yet, not built up to that yet. Plus, I got to get a bike lock and all that because it's a whole thing. And like also talk about no bike infrastructure around here at all. Like, so if you go somewhere, what do you affix your bicycle to so it doesn't get stolen? That's a whole other thing. Like a random fence, light pole. I don't know. Like,
well, in some places, I know in Arlington had regulations about what you were allowed to chain a bike to, and they wouldn't,
I don't know if we have that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. You might check. They wouldn't allow you to chain it to a bench.
Well,
or
if they would give me something else to chain it to.
That was my always thing. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So many times when they didn't have that, I just brought my bike inside, and everyone glared at me. I was like, well, I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Just bring it in the coffee shop, like, hey guys,
exactly. Like, this is
I'm not leaving it out there.
The ambiance you're trying to create, right? With the hipsters on bikes drinking your coffee. Well, here I am with bike.
Here I am. Take that. So yeah, that would be an interesting option, especially if I'm just going to ride it around the road. The clipless thing, but then again, you got to have a shoe and the whole thing. So keep it like this for a while and see. Like I said in the text message, the saddle is that's going to be the thing that needs to be upgraded first, I think.
What are you thinking?
I don't really know yet. I just started looking around, but the one that came on it is like, it's very like race inspired.
Yeah,
right.
As most of those are.
You could tell they sort of looked at some of the physique racing saddles and were like, yeah, we'll make that, but hard. Oh, cool.
You should get a Brooks B17. There, that's a spot.
Oh, are those like vulcanized rubber, like the one, those ones?
Well, I looked at those. They're leather. They're leather.
Oh, I looked at the not leather ones.
Okay. Sure.
The C17. The CAD B something EM.
Yep.
I looked at those because I heard a lot of people use those on like every bike conceivable.
Yes.
People just use that.
Yeah, the Cambium.
Yeah.
No, they do. They're pretty standard. And you look at them and you go, how can that be comfortable? Right? There's no padding.
But they're pretty flexy, right? That's the thing.
Extremely flexy, and it's all in the shape. That's what you've got.
Yeah.
Because the leather ones gives you the more classic look, but it is again the flex, and they fit your butt after a while. But the C17, they do flex, and they've really nailed the shape of how it is going to feel. Again, you've got to make sure that you've got it set up for the right riding posture.
Well, that's but you could fiddle with that, Yeah. Once you get it on there.
Yeah. Anyway, that would be another good option.
Yeah, I looked at that because I was looking at some stuff, and a lot of people were just like, and I was looking at like pictures of bikes, and that's like one of the ones that you just see over and over and over and over again. You're like, huh. And they do look really cool. So that's a bonus, right? Like,
well, yeah, that's the other thing that I like. Yeah, not that we're vain in what we're doing here, but also
we are a little bit,
right?
do want things to look cool. That is important.
Well, that's like, I don't know, whenever I was looking for my bike and I was like trying to find something. It's kind of the same approach that I took to whenever we were looking for the Honda and we ended up buying the Accord, was what's something like, what is this going to tell me about like my personality when somebody sees this, like what's that messaging to them? And so I was trying to figure out like what car met my personality or like spoke to something, and then of course I was like, well, Honda. And when we were looking for the car, and it was like, I want a 4-door sedan, not a Honda. And everyone was like, why? Why would you?
Yeah, why would you not want a? Yeah, if that's your category, if you're like, I really want a 4-door sedan, like,
yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
so Honda.
Like, so you want an Accord? And I was like, no, but I don't. And they're like, but you do. And I was like, no, I don't. And then when I drove one, I was like, oh, I do want this.
Oh, I do. I mean, I guess the literal only, like the other benchmark standard is like Toyota Camry.
Camry, exactly.
Right? That's the other one. Like, I want a 4-door car that's not a Honda. Toyota. Like, that's what.
Ta-da. Like,
got him.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of considerations of that, right? Because there's like a billion different, like back to the bike thing. There's like a whole bunch of them.
How'd you find?
Right.
Yeah, the world of when I listed my research, the world of flip flop hub single speeds is deep and dark, and trying to distinguish from one to another is absolutely basically impossible. So I want to know.
Well, in that, especially in the like really, well, the I bought up in price a little bit,
sure,
because like at the bottom level they are all exactly the same.
Yes,
and it probably doesn't matter at all which one you buy. They're all the same, right?
Yeah.
So part of it does come down to, oh, this one looks cool, but then you look at them and you start digging into the specs and you're like, these are all the same thing. These are literally the same components. These are literally the same. So I bought up a little bit because I was looking for like thinking long term, right?
Yeah.
So I was already thinking like, okay, let's say that I am going to ride this bike for a while, right? A long time. I was kind of thinking about it as like a modular type situation.
Yep.
Right? So like, and especially on a bike like this where there's like no parts. You know what I mean? It's like literally 2 moving parts.
Yep.
That's it. All the little stuff makes a big difference. So if you're like, okay, well, if you're thinking about it, like this is a bike where handlebar choice all of a sudden makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Right. And handlebars are really easy to change out. Right. If you have a headset that is like a standard size. So I was looking for that. Right. Does it have like standardized parts? Mm-hmm. Right. Because some of those cheap like fixed gear stuff, like they use like weird sizes, you know, or they use that smaller size. It's like the old steel frame, you know, with like the quill stem stuff. They use like that size. Yep. So like, but you can not get the variety for everything there. So I was looking for that. Right. Like, do these have like nice standard size of headset, seat post? This one has the on the chain ring. The chain ring is the track chain ring bolt center diameter. So if you want another chain ring, you just bolt it on. Done.
Nice.
Easy.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them use a smaller size. So like you can't get other parts to switch out. So if you wanted to go up a chainring size or down a chainring size, on some of those bikes, you can't do it. Right? But on this one, because of the size that it is, you just buy another chainring, unbolt it, bolt a new one on, boom, done. That's it. Right?
Yeah, which is really, again, yeah, when you're doing it from the modularity, and it's interesting because that was my same thought process whenever I was looking at them was I was mostly concerned about looking at the frame material, making sure it was a good quality material, because that was the thing that was going to last 15 years. Right.
That's the other reason I picked this one too, because a lot of the cheap ones they're like steel, and apparently steel is real. That's what I hear from everybody. But the cheap ones are heavy.
Yes.
Right. They're like not the best quality, or it's like the standard like 40, 130 or whatever, but it's like it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The tubing diameter is big, and it's heavy. So that's why I went with the aluminum one.
Yeah.
Right. Partially because it's cheaper, because like the good light steel is expensive. Right. Some of those like track bike frame sets are that stuff. But then that's way expensive. Right. So I went with aluminum because it's lighter, but it's nice aluminum. This one's really cool. I got the one I bought is like the raw finish, so it's just like got a clear coat on it. That's it. So I like that personally.
Yeah.
But but all the welds are nice and looking good in there. It's all nice. So that's what that's why I went the aluminum. Plus aluminum, you can do this like hydroform tubes. They look cool and everything, but it's lighter. So this thing like weighs nothing. You just pick it up. Okay. Do. So that was another thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm already kind of big and out of shape. Do I want a big, giant, heavy bike?
No.
Maybe not.
But those
right. Do I?
Yeah, I have to consider those for sure.
Yeah. And even at my skill level, a few pounds doesn't make a difference, but like 10 pounds does. Yeah. So like,
yeah, you're talking about real change there.
Yeah, right. We're talking about like 5+ pounds of difference is that can make a big deal of enjoyment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of when you're going up that hill of going, I'm going to die, or I can make it, right? So, especially while you're trying to build fitness category, you don't want to be discouraged by heavy, slow things.
No.
So, but yeah, that's kind of I was thinking about the modularity of I could, thinking about it down the line, like, what if and plus it's more experimental, especially with things like handlebars, because that's just like, these handlebars are not expensive. Throw them on there, blam, go for it. And it changes a lot about how it rides and everything. So thinking in the future, that'd be kind of cool, right?
Well, yeah, because right now you've got the flat bars on there. If you go to the drop, that is a whole different story.
Yeah, right. It's a big different riding position, all kind of stuff. With the fixed gear, you can also do the like bullhorn bar situation, right?
Yeah.
Like all those crazy like track bar things, or like those insane like pista bars, or like the big drops, or like normal compact road drop stuff, like all that. But it's like a bunch of different categories that would be cool that you could like experiment with later on and change up a lot with a small change.
Yeah, love it. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
I'm great to hear that.
Yeah, looking forward to it to be slightly less hot so I can go ride some more.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I didn't go today. I'm not going tomorrow either.
Yeah, we're under a heat advisory until tomorrow night at like 10 o'clock. So
yeah, same. So not going to be riding tomorrow.
Be out riding for sure.
Yeah, wait till Sunday or Monday, maybe. I think that might be.
I would.
So yeah, it's been my big exciting week this week.
Huh. Yeah, I've been insanely busy this week. with doing lots of drop-ins with
No.
Yeah, it's been intense, brah.
It's weird how you make that your only business,
And then all
your
of a sudden,
only job, and all of a sudden you have more job to do. So weird,
I
right?
can't,
Who saw that coming?
when it comes to timing, I keep telling Megan, like, I've been unemployed since last Friday, and that I don't like the bookings that we've got even since then would have been literally impossible to do with that job, having a job.
Yeah, true.
So it's just like, okay, it's insane. I'm sitting here scrolling through my calendar, looking over the next 2 weeks. That's a lot. So, but it's been good. I've been one thing I noted, not quite for a full week of unemployment, but I have filled all of my like exercise rings on my watch every single day. which
With dog walking,
which I never used to do whenever I was at the jobby job, and it just feels totally different at the end of the day. Feels good though. I've been really enjoying it, and it was really funny. I have been walking the dog through the same neighborhood twice a day, morning and evening, while the owners are out, and kind of it's behind the country club, so they're kind of a cloistered community. So everybody,
people stare at you. What is
They
that guy doing here?
They kind of do. Anyway, so I've been waving and talking to this lady like multiple times throughout this week, both morning and evening, for various reasons, because I walk by her house and she's usually out there, and she has got this lab, and talked to her about her lab, her son's lab, and joked with her about other stuff and the weather and you know what I do. And this morning I was walking out of the house with the dog to go on the walk, but she had already started her walk, and she walked right in front of the house, looked at me, and she was like, "Are you Gary?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Does Gary live there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she just gave me like the weirdest look because I hadn't introduced myself until this point. So I was like, "Hi, I'm Collin. I'm the dog walker with Monkey Bunch Pet Care, and I'm walking dogs." And, like, her total demeanor like completely changed. Like, she was like really excited and was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense because blah blah." And see, that understands why you're okay. And it was just really, really funny. It's like, "You Gary? No." "Doesn't Gary live there?" "Yeah."
It would have been even better if you just said, "Yep," and then left, like walked off.
Well, so here's the thing of something that
I get it, potential customer. I understand.
I know. But I had it drilled into me growing up that if you're home alone, you never let anybody else know that. And so I'm in this weird situation, and it's something that we've dealt with over the past 10 years, but it's good to tell people that we are walking the dog because the owner's away, and then it's a transition into how we communicate. But I also feel uncomfortable doing that about letting other people know that this house is vacant.
Is vacant? Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of this weird line of, and I don't want to lie to people, obviously. So for this lady, I just kind of went in and was like, "Oh, I'm just walking their dog 2 days, morning and evening this week." I didn't really get into the why.
Yeah, it's good. Vague is good, right?
Yes. I like vague. Vagary is good.
Be helpful.
Yes. It was just very interesting. Because then she asked me, she said, "Oh, so like," so I'm explaining like what we do and how we do it. And she goes, "Oh, so if like somebody needed to go to the airport, would you take them?" And I was like, at what point when I was describing pet care did you think that included person taxi? Like,
ma'am, I'm not an Uber.
It was so bizarre, like how these threads were combined in her brain.
Well, you could charge extra for that service. Just saying.
Airport hour and 40 minutes away. No.
That's true. Not from where you currently live. If you live somewhere closer to an airport, if it was like in the same town as you, then you could just be like, yeah, do it. Boom.
All about that.
But then scheduling the pickup would be a hassle. It'd be a whole thing. Maybe it's better if you don't do that.
I'll just leave that to the actual Uber people and Lyft.
That's it. No, we only take you to the airport.
Right.
We don't pick up. Only drop-offs, no pickup. Sorry.
Drop-off is the easy part. That pickup, woo, too much for me.
Yeah.
Too much for my blood. The other thing that I have noticed about this is, so this is the community behind the country club. So they're part of it. And the kids live a totally different life in this part of the town than other children. And I will give you the shining example. So I've been walking this dog every night for the past week. And every night there is like a mongrel horde of golf carts that drive the road driven by 14-year-olds as they get together and just cruise in their golf carts, and they go from like house to house and hang, and then go to the next house and then do stuff, and then just drive and listen to music
weird.
at really loud volumes. and these roads, they're like 1.5 lanes. There are no street lights. They're kind of meandering. And there's, it's just bizarre. Like, I'm just being passed by kid. And there's like 5 kids in a golf cart. And, I'm just like, this is a totally different life than most.
That's weird.
Just a weird window into the world of what it's like to live there and what that means for kids growing up. It really had a lot of like, I don't know, like future implications for like perceptions of the world and of reality. Of like, what a weird way to grow up. Or like, that's just like, that's a unique thing that not
it's very strange.
Kids
driving the golf cart around. I know that here some of them drive them around on the golf course because, like, well, at least when we were at the 4th of July thing, we went and sat on the golf course, and there were some children driving around golf carts.
Sure.
Because there's houses right next to the golf course, and I imagine that's where they were from. They were cruising around on the little golf cart path thing in the evening. But yeah, that is very odd. Gang of roving golf carts.
Yeah. And, they're having a good time. They're waving. They're being polite. It's all this stuff. But again, I was just like,
For now,
right? Exactly. It was another 3 years. But it was just,
right.
Again, this, I've been struggling with this. Like, wow, like that's so weird. And as I'm walking, you can see different kids they'll drive their golf cart to their friend's house to then get on their friend's golf cart to then go pick up their other friends from their other locations. And they'll just go from garage to garage. And I don't know.
It's very odd.
It's very odd. I confused. Marauding folks on golf carts.
Yeah, that is crazy. Huh. A very strange image in my head of this goings on. So it's very
it's probably right. That's all I'll say. And you can kind of tell. It's also very weird. This is the things that I pick up on of like, you can tell very clearly tell that although the lifestyle that it would take to have access to a golf cart to then freely drive around in the safety of your subdivision, which is like a sprawling place because they have a lot of space in these areas. But then even within that, there's like the class system of like the kind of golf cart of like, is yours the bog standard one that you could find on a golf course, or is it like the customized blue paint with like slightly larger rims and a stereo speaker system built into it?
Yeah.
And like those people kind of hang out together, and then the other, like, just, it's again weird class systems within a class system.
Yeah. Well, and then like the weird part as kids, the kids with like the nice golf carts become like the de facto leaders, right? Because everybody wants to hang out with their golf cart, right? So like everybody drives to their house and they drive that one around.
Yep.
You know, like a little.
Yeah, it's the show cart,
Yes.
whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's a microcosm of
no, totally
larger
is.
things. It's very strange.
Exactly. Again, this is where I'm like walking the dog and thinking about, again, all these little like spiraling out implications of like, what does this mean for this child 15 years later?
Yeah, right? Like
how does this impact the psyche of your expectations and views and perceptions of the world and how people relate to you? I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Pretty nuts, we know.
Airman.
Yeah, Aaron, are you here?
Yeah, I've just been muted this whole time. I've been
okay.
been eating dinner.
Oh, nice.
I got home right at 9 and had enough time to get set up, get dinner, and I've just been chowing down.
All right.
And
so we gave you some time to talk. You're welcome. So we gave you some time to eat. So how has practice been in the totally not cold?
So this week in general, it kind of feels I kind of feel a little bad because when my last day is tomorrow with state agency.
Okay.
And I start my new job as a teacher and a coach. This entire week has been a strew of, getting my stuff together, getting it organized, getting ready to turn in. However, some other people have also resigned, but their reasons were a lot different than mine. Mine was, hey, it's an opportunity. Teaching and coaching is what I want to do. They are leaving because they're upset with like administration, kind of all this stuff, and like all that's coming out of the woodworks. And I'm just sitting there like, I just need to turn my computer in. So dealing with that, and so for me, when I left, I was going to leave, on good terms. I am going to leave on good terms. I was going to get all my cases turned in, everything turned in, boom, boom, boom. And so for the first time in the over a year and a half, 2 years that I've been with the agency, there is no case on my caseloads. None of my cases will transfer to other workers. That's not what's going to happen with some of my other colleagues. Because out of
bad circumstances.
Yeah,
right?
out of a team of 9, one of our supervisors left, so someone replaced them. So there's me, and then 1 worker, 2 worker, 3 worker, and then possibly 5th one pretty soon. So out of 9, we're losing like 5. So it's going to be quite interesting with the transition. So me, I've just been kind of doing my own thing, vibing, and then I get little text messages like, "Hey, I just resigned." I'm like, "Oh,
what?
Okay. Well, I feel bad." So they're gonna have their hands full coming up. The transition. My classroom has been waxed, or at least the hallway to my classroom has been waxed. So I have not actually been able to physically go into my classroom until so I'm going to have a last lunch kind of thing with some of my coworkers, and then I was going to run down there to the school, actually get some stuff set up, make it look relatively presentable, work on some stuff, and then in the state of Oklahoma, there's only restricted times, and it's across the nation. There's restricted times where you can practice. So what we've been doing now, or during most of the summers, we've had what's called a Pride Week.
Workouts, right.
Yes. And so, but this week we're pretty much doing weightlifting, maxing. We did bench press today. We're doing cleans? No, not cleans. We're doing something tomorrow. And then next week we start like itty bitty kid camp. And then that'll put us calendar. So this week, day, and then next week, I believe on the 3rd and 4th, I'll have those camps, and then I have new teacher orientation with the school, and then the 9th is teachers show up, and then boom, the 12th is day 1, which thankfully is on a Thursday, so it gets us 2 days to get acclimated, get set up, and then for the weekend. And so,
wait, your first day of school is the 12th?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So I will be teaching. Excuse me. 6th and 7th grade geography. 6th grade is more kind of Western, North America, South America geography stuff. 7th grade is kind of everything else, or wherever I decide to put Australia. So I'll be teaching that. I'm also teaching 6th grade keyboarding. Weirdly,
oh boy,
which I don't know what that is.
Typing class.
So YouTube and it's called typing.com, which is literally like a free website for teachers or for anybody that you can literally create a classroom, give the kids a key, and just have them go at it. So I'll be teaching that, and then I'll be teaching 8th grade U.S. history, which is pretty much from early, American history all the way up to or past the Civil War. I don't know where my stuff is at.
I think it's usually because the second half is Reconstruction to whatever. So yeah, probably to the end of the Civil War.
In the Civil. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then I have all the stuff that I'm going to take to the school tomorrow, which I have all. I still have plenty of books here at home, but I'm going to take a lot of like the history, geography books that I have down there, just so I can kind of free some space and be like, look, here's some resources.
That's what I have. I have a shelf like that behind my. That's what I did today. I went to school today and I sort of unpacked some of my stuff, and I did that. I have that shelf behind my desk where my personal books are that I just use those for like reference stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and so I'll bring those down, and then what else? So there's that. Right now, if you hear clicking in the background, I am doing the national something courses, which is like if you want to be an athletic coach of any kind, you have to take what's called a care and prevention course, which you learn like first aid, what you do for heat stroke, what are some ways to communicate with your athletes. So I am on the 2nd course, and I am 78% complete. And this thing has taken me like 3 days to do. So I'm taking that. I have about 5 more things I need to take. Plus, I need to take like a new teacher orientation thing online. And then I got to take like something else while also trying to, do practice and come up with lesson plans. Which I think for the first part, utilizing the book very heavily, getting the kids kind of set up for expectations. So if I can at least buy myself a month, I think I'll be fine.
That's definitely the first 2 days is expectation time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, if you want to call me this weekend, we can chat.
I probably will.
I'll be home this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get set up. Yeah, it is kind of nice to go from one thing and kind of have like a week-ish to get kind of set up for pacing. Like, what I know
that's great.
Right, get back into it. Some of my colleagues that they're leaving their last day of tomorrow, like, oh, when'd you start at your new job? Like, oh, we start Monday. I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
Well, I feel a little bit less bad, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a little bit bittersweet. My staff that I had was really good. I could call them for anything. I always kept tabs and updates on where my people were. And then apparently the other half of the team was like all chaos and all over the place. And I'm like, I didn't know that. I feel a little bad now because I'm leaving on good terms. No one else is. So that's going to be a little bit different.
Sure.
I'm still going to stay in touch with those people. It's kind of like one of those first jobs. I mean, the other school I was at, I keep in touch with like 2 people. At the where I was at before, Eskimo Joe's, I still keep in touch with those people. Only like a handful of them, but this job there's a good pick of people that I'm going to stay in touch with.
Cool.
It's just gonna be different. It's going to be nice actually knowing my schedule, what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis, because
having be way different for you.
Having to kind of sit there and be like, oh, hey, you need to drive an hour to this small town, and you have 30 minutes to get there. Like, I'm sorry, what? It'll be nice to be back in a place that I'm more comfortable with. I just don't know what keyboarding is, so
it's type home row.
It's going to be a lot of lesson planning, hopefully over this weekend, and everything. So I got plenty of resources. I got plenty of people to contact and call. I just got to get my room set up because I have no idea what it looks like. I don't even know if there's a whiteboard in there, to be completely honest with you.
That's important things to know.
Yeah.
Call me this weekend. I'll talk to you a little bit about some stuff. So
yeah, can do. So that's been Aaron's week in a nutshell.
It's true. Last weekend, where I was, guess what I did? That's right. We went bowling. What? What happened? So Susan's nephew's son, right? So whatever. It was his birthday. He's 5.
Okay.
And he wanted to have his birthday at a bowling alley.
Fair enough.
So we went to Nixa and we bowled.
How was it?
And I have not bowled, and I'm going to guess approximately 15 years. I mean, maybe a little more than that. Let's be honest.
Love it.
It was around about 50. It was fun. We had fun because her mom came with us, and me and Susan and Shayna went, and everybody was bowling, and it was pretty good times. It didn't do wonderful, but also we didn't do terrible. So, that's good. It's good.
Memories count, right?
Yeah. It took me a long time to remember how bowling works. Right about like the 9th frame, I was like, oh, right. This is the thing I should be doing.
Wow.
But it was it was weird. I was like, wow, I haven't done this in forever. Bowling alleys look different. It's not like smoky and gross.
Right.
And the lights are on. Like, it was
because it's been 30 years since the 80s.
Yeah. You haven't been able to smoke in a building for ever now. So that's different.
Shocker.
It's one of my strong memories of bowling alleys when I was younger, is being like, we're going to go bowling.
Ashtrays.
Well, I can't see. It's dark and smoky in here.
What was the one that was close to Dad's first workplace? You guys remember that?
Lighthouse Lanes?
It was like...
No, that was Enterprise Lanes.
Enterprise Lanes.
That was Enterprise Lanes.
Yeah, that was the nice one. Right?
Yeah. Lighthouse Lanes was a nice one.
Springfield, this is outdated information, listeners. So don't judge Springfield bowling alleys on this information currently.
Yeah.
However, there was definitely a tiered structure for bowling establishments in Springfield, right? Like, there was the ones that you wanted to go to and the ones that you didn't. So I would put Enterprise was at the top. That was the nice one. It was all real clean. I think it's probably the newest building. Right. And the one I went to a lot just because it was closer was Battlefield Lanes.
Sure.
That was a middle. It's kind of meh. Right. Lighthouse Lanes was open for a long time. It was pretty nice in there. I think it was the clean one. And then there was Sunshine Lanes, which is the one that you did not want to go to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is old information. I don't know if you want to go there now or not.
We're just going to go ahead and think it's probably still true.
That's probably still true. That's the one you didn't really want to go to. I don't know if there's more bowling alleys now or less, or I have no idea.
Sunshine Lanes is still there.
All right.
It looks like.
Is Battlefield Lane still even there?
What?
I think they changed that building. That building's not there anymore, is it?
No, Battlefield. I'm pretty sure Battlefield Lane.
I think that building's gone.
Yes, it's permanently closed, and I forget what it became. It's a full on. I think it's not a bowling, but it's like an entertainment complex or game. It's like it's not just bowling. They've played away with it. Yeah. Lighthouse Lanes is still open. Last one. See if Enterprise.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Enterprise Lanes still Enterprise. Oh, it's called Enterprise Park Lane.
Oh,
is open.
Fancy schmancy.
They have Back Alley Bar and Grill. Bad name. Bad.
That is a bad name.
Why?
You don't really want to go to Back Alley anything.
No. Why would you name it Back?
Don't know. That definitely, see, that knocks it down on the tier list, right? Because now it just sounds seedy, even if it isn't.
Yeah.
It's called Back Alley.
Anyway.
Unless, of course, they put it in the back alley behind the building.
Yeah, and then it's just apropos.
Well, it's still a weird sentence, right? Like, I don't know why you put it back there.
No.
After working in a partial bowling alley, I could say that like they're such a weird, like unique experience, but they're such a pain to work with. So
I've never heard the sentence.
Yeah, partial bowling alley is the weird French sentence.
Okay, let me explain.
No, I remember because I was in that. I went in there. I know what you're talking about. But it's
so
never
for the listeners.
Oh, true. Listeners who've never been to Eskimo Joe's.
Oh no! So this place used to be called MoJo's, which used to be the sister company to Eskimo Joe's. So
subsidiary of Eskimo Joe's.
Yeah. So whenever when I was a college lad, I worked at a place called MoJo's. It was a rock and roll bowling bar and grill, or rock and roll whiskey bowling bar and grill. There we go. So it was a restaurant.
A lot of qualifiers.
Yeah, it was a restaurant that was catered more towards like a whiskey establishment, but we didn't really sell that much whiskey, so it just was more of a bar restaurant. And then slapped on next to it was a 4-lane bowling alley that had like 3 games for a quote unquote arcade room, and that was it. You can eat and bowl and drink at the same time. Some other places, there's a lot of big places in Oklahoma City that are like full on like bar restaurants with bowling alleys that are like super fancy. We were like, they were nice. Like our restaurant was nice, but it just wasn't like, you didn't come there for the bowling.
I don't equate bowling with the word fancy. Like,
no, but I'm talking like, so a lot of these big places, they're like really high tech. Their food's really good, and the place is really expensive because you get a lot of bang for your buck. Our place, like we had a lot of kids' birthday parties. Late night, group of people would come in and bowl and drink a little bit. Problem was we didn't really spend that much on getting good quality bowling equipment, and so they broke all the time. And there'd be times I'd be sitting there like behind the bar working, and to give a complete picture, we were never like super busy. On a busy day / game day, I would maybe walk out with like $60-$80. Equate that to a game day at Eskimo Joe's, and I could walk out with like $300, no problem.
Yeah, fair.
So there's a great discrepancy, a great difference. So there'd be times I'd be like back behind the bar doing my thing, and then someone would come up like, "Hey, the bowling alley's broken." Fine. And then
did you just have to reenact the 1950s and just be like the pin boy and just like jump around behind the thing and set all the pins and throw the ball
like
back down?
So I'd have to like grudgingly walk down the long corridor that everyone could see, and people like, so I had to go down there, going like kind of like the back sketchy back room, and then I'd have to climb on top of the equipment, which there was like a little ladder access thing, and you have to go to the lane, and a pin was jammed, and I had to reach in there thing, or like there's a ball that was stuck, so there's sometimes like I had to like. If you were down at the other end, like watching where the pins would come up, you would just see like 2 feet just like drop. And that would be me. And I'd be like, sit there. And got it. And so I would just come out and I'd just be covered in like just grease and like oil and your bowling lane's fixed. And then like 2 days, like, hey, it's broken again. My keys back there. And so sometimes it would get to the point where they're like, hey, Aaron, we'll just pay you just to have a bowling shift, and all you do was just sit back there and either work on homework or read, which I got a lot of reading done, and I would just sit on top of the bowling machine in a chair, and I would sit there and I'd watch and I'd listen, or someone would text me like, hey, lane 4's not working. So I'd do that.
So you did. You were a 50s ball pin setter. This is great. How exciting is this?
Sometimes that job would be given to like the high school like host person who's never seen large equipment in their life.
Yeah.
And so I was just the disgruntled college student, go back there and like, all right, come here, rookie. There's what you do, like with my cigar, like, all right,
just kick it real hard. And
yeah, I mean, pretty much. And they were broken all the time. The little bumpers that we had were like duct taped together.
Yo, this place,
I love this.
They had like, this was some high tech nonsense. All right. So they had you could set it up to where so like the birthday boy, since he's 5, he wanted the bumper bowling like you do. So on the little kiosk thing, no longer that janky telephone pad thing that you used to type your numbers in on the like ASCII screen, in front of the deal. This is like high def. But if you click the bumper thing, whenever it was his turn, automatic bumpers would pop up in the lane.
Oh.
And then when he was done, they would fold back. They would like go back down.
That's real nice.
So the next person didn't have to have bumpers if they didn't want
That's what ours were supposed to do.
It was so cool.
It would get to the point of like, hey, are you guys okay with having bumpers the whole time? Cool, because I can't put them down. So
these were awesome. They would just phase up, and then he would bowl, and then was the next person, they would drop back down again. Man, it was cool. Wow. Because when I was a kid, I remember it used to be like literally a big giant foam bumper.
Yeah.
That I don't know where they stored this thing, but they would just like put it in the gutter.
Right.
Right. It would just like they would basically fill up the gutter with what looked like a giant pool noodle, basically. And that was it. So it was like, you want bumpers? Boom. You can't move them because they're enormous. And they're here.
And then you had to have, then there was like the kid lane because they had the bumpers, and then the adult lane. So
yes. So this was cool that they raised and lowered like that. I had, again, I'm very out of date on my bowling technology. So like I had no idea this existed. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Love it.
So I found a picture of my time at, it's a picture of my friends that I'm sending you guys, but in the background, you could see that it, what it was trying to emulate or replicate. Like I said, it wasn't very big. It was just kind of there. But it was a weird experience. And so
this picture reminds me of the bowling alley that Nixon had in the White House or whatever. Right? Just like a small couple
here's
lanes
another lane.
in the thing.
Yeah, hold on. Here's
all right, that was Nixon, right? Wasn't that Nixon?
Yeah.
Yes. Here's one where everything was like glow in the dark and
the Rockin' Bowl.
Yeah.
I like the Rockin' Bowl. It was always like very distracting. All the neon colors.
Yeah.
And like they always would turn the music up like way loud at Rockin' Bowl. So like it almost became like not fun because you'd be like want to talk to your friends, but you had to like scream at them.
Yes, that is pretty much what it was. Every late night, it was just that. So, yeah.
Yeah, anytime,
See if I have any
even when I was younger,
in the
me and my
bowling.
friends, whenever we went bowling, we did not want to go to Rock and Bowl generally because it was like, it's so loud in here. And it's like bowling alley music. So it's like either like weird rap music or just like 80s hair metal. Like that's the only two bowling alley music.
Mhm.
Wow.
The one we went to on Sunday, by the way, the 80s hair metal variety. So there we go. Nice.
Perfect.
Classic bowling alley soundtrack.
Nice.
It's very weird. Very like,
It's a type.
yeah, it is a type, you know. You gotta have that. It's a whole thing. It was weird because it was like I hadn't been bowling in a long time and it was like instantly recognizable as a thing that I had done before. So it's like, yep.
Right.
Yep, there's some nachos on that table. This is some 80s hair metal on the radio. Yep, this is, yep,
Now, if someone could
things
just put
haven't
out some
changed.
cigarettes in the corner. this would be great.
Yeah, did that. It was just not smoky. That was the only thing that threw me for a minute. I was like, wow, it's clean in here. It's weird. It's like, so yeah, so that was my big adventure this week. We went bowling. Dun, 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 dun.
I love it.
Yeah. You guys been watching Olympic action at all?
Oh man.
No.
Oh man, I have been. I've watched everything. Like it's great.
We've been watching so much stuff. It's been great. Been awesome. We signed up for a free week of Hulu, which has actually been really nice because they have specific channels for the different sports in the Olympics.
Oh, you have to go hunting them.
I don't have to go
That's
hunting
nice.
for them, so I can just go to click on one button and watch cycling. Now, the problem is that they
Nice.
after they air live, they kind of disappear. So I can't go back and rewatch them unless I record them. So I try and sit down and go ahead and record stuff. But what these are amazing is each day they release a 5 to like 7 minute highlight clip of everything that happened with that sport that day.
Oh,
We have been watching
that's cool.
those like crazy with the kids. That's the perfect amount of length for the kids to watch and understand this is what archery is like. This is what artistic swimming is like. This is what the equestrian people do. This is what the floor routines like. It's just been really nice to get boom, boom,
Bite size.
boom, boom. Instead of having to sit and watch and do the, waiting for the scores, and it's, they can make it pretty intense. And then also we don't have to watch commercials, and also I can avoid all like the human interest stories, which while nice, have no interest for kids. And
That's true. I like some of those. Right. I like those. That's my favorite part about the Olympics is like, oh, hey, like today, like the fact that like Ireland won its first ever gold medal in rowing.
Right.
Sweet. That's cool. Right. Like, I like that.
Yeah, that's good to know. But for a 5-year-old, she just wants
they
to
don't
see
want that.
people do as many dives as possible within like a 7-minute time span.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
and then that way we can just kind of go, what has been happening with this one? And so they're really excited because some of them don't have anything yet, like the rock climbing, the artistic swimming doesn't have anything yet. So
They haven't done them.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet, which is fine. So they're excited to see what pops up there and what that is. And that's a whole like, this is what this sport is, and this is what they're doing, and this is how it's scored, and this is, we don't get too much into beyond that.
Well, no, that's a good primer, though. I did some of that in summer school. That's kind of what I did with some of my kids. Like, have you guys ever seen Olympic archery? And they're like,
yeah,
no. Like,
exactly.
Well, check it out. Blam. Like,
exactly. Noah really wanted to see the shooting one. Right. So then when they were doing, when they were shooting, and that really blew my mind because I was like, oh, people are so amazing. Like,
oh, yeah.
How
So
are you
it's
even
crazy.
seeing these things go? Anyway, so that's been our exposure to it. I haven't been able to sit and watch like a full. But we did watch the women's triathlon finish, which was insane.
Oh,
which was
yeah.
really cool.
I think I watched that too.
So
those overachievers, they can't pick one. They got to do all of them. Like, we'll do all three things.
No, fortunately. But that's been really.
I really like watching the rowing for some reason. Like, it's really fascinating to me. We were talking about it earlier. Like, I really want to try one of those little rowboat, the little skull boat things. I think it'd be so cool to like, not like at Olympic speed level, just like in a lake. Like, hey, I think it'd be fun.
I think it would.
It'd be really fun. So, figure out how to get a hold of one of those. That'd be cool.
And you could like tow it to the river with your bike.
That's true. Not a big Missouri sport, skull racing. It's like an East Coast thing, I think. But like when I think of that, I think of like Northeast colleges. That's what I think about.
Yeah.
Like the same colleges that do lacrosse. Like that's a thing.
Oh no, 100%. Yes. All the lacrosse people are best friends with the
with the rowers. Right.
rowers.
But yeah, it's been fun. I like watching. My favorite thing about the Olympics is watching the random sports that you don't get to see ever.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like fencing or like I said, rowing. Right? I like to watch those ones. Like I don't, some of the other ones are cool. Like I don't really love watching gymnastics. Whatever. But it's cool because it's like that's one of the cornerstone Olympic sports, right? Like swimming, gymnastics, track and field. Those are like the summer Olympic sports. You know what I mean? Like that most people, there's like the big popular ones. So I like to watch those, but I also like to watch the random ones. Like, yeah, like you said, I watched the cross country mountain biking. That was awesome. It was really cool. The rowing. Like water polo, my favorite.
We've been watching a lot of water polo.
One of my favorite ones because you don't get to see water polo any other time, really. Right? That's not like a sport that's on TV very often. You don't just like it's not just on. Like, oh, I'm gonna tune in to watch some water polo on a random Thursday night. No, like it's so the Olympics is like the big spotlight of that one. So that's been fun. So I've just been like watching randomly. But like you're talking about the time difference makes it hard because like when you do want to watch like the cycling, because I wanted to watch all the cycling stuff too. And it was really difficult because it's on at like really crazy times. I stayed up and watched the men's road race. It got over at like 3 a.m. Like
yeah. That's tough.
And like that's when they're showing all the track cycling is going to start soon. And I want to watch some of that this year because that's a sport that I don't ever get to see. So I kind of want to watch some of the track racing. Apparently there's like a whole bunch of different kinds of, apparently track racing is a bizarre land where strange things happen that I don't understand how they work. Like I watched a video about the different types of track cycling the other day and it did not help to alleviate my confusion about what these things are. So I kind of want to watch some of those, but they're all on at like 2 a.m. So I'm going to have to go through and like record some of those things because I definitely won't be able to parse what's happening at like 3:30 in the morning when it's like a brand new thing I've never seen before.
Won't be helpful.
What?
When you wake up.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Watch? Guys are doing the thing.
Yeah. What is this? Why are they doing that? I don't understand. But I do want to see some of that because it's kind of cool. Apparently, there's lots and lots of different types of track cycling. I was unaware of this. But it's all on in the middle of the night because they're paying. So, yeah, we're going to work around that. And track and field started tonight, I guess, or today, whatever. So, more exciting. Random track events, like. However, it has drawn into sharp contrast when you watch all the Olympic sports, right? There are only 2 types of sports, right? There is the score more points than the other person or team sport.
Uh-huh.
And there is the go faster than the other person or team sport.
Or more.
And that is it.
Yeah.
That is it. Those are the only two types of sport. Basically every sport goes into those two categories.
You distill it down like that, it doesn't sound nearly as fun.
Yeah, but like when you look at the Olympics, especially all the Olympic sports, that is it.
Yeah.
You have the go faster or score more points than. That's it. So it's very funny trying to break. Okay, now for those listeners out there screaming at me, yes, I am aware that there are throwing sports in track and field. So there is a very small subcategory of go further than. Okay, but that's kind of like get more points. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Because your number is bigger than the other person's number. So, boom, you win. Right. So I'm aware of that, but I sort of categorize it that way. So yeah, I've been excited. I like watching it. I like watching all the random. I like some of the human stories. I especially like the women's cycling road race debacle. It makes me chuckle mightily. I like that Primož Roglič decided he was feeling better and totally destroyed the men's time trial after crashing in the Tour de France. That was fun. That was cool to watch. So, Aaron, you're going to have to find some time in your busy schedule to watch some Olympic highlights.
Yeah. They had part of it on at the little gym that I go and work out in, and it was like women's BMXing, like BMX biking.
Although that thing's crazy. And
we were sitting there watching, and it's like, I didn't know this was an Olympic sport. This is crazy.
Yeah, I don't ever. That's another sport that I don't ever see that around. And so when you see it, you're like, what? What are they doing? Or like I saw some surfing the other day. That's new. It's exciting. Skateboarding in the Olympics. Exciting. It's also crazy that like the podium finishers in the women's skateboarding are all like 15 or younger. That was pretty nuts. The girls are awesome.
There's a cheerleading's coming to the Olympics next year round.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Competitive cheer. What are some of the sports? Didn't they take out a lot, though? They took out a lot of sports, though.
Yeah, I don't. Now, that's a hard one. I don't remember what they took out. I know they added the rock climbing. They added the surfing. They added skateboarding.
You didn't have one in there, though.
Let me see. I don't know how you Google Olympic sports. Oh, removed. Oh, Olympic sports removed. Let me see. Looks like baseball is gone. Is this true? Summer Olympics? I don't know. This list is confusing and I don't understand how to read it. Or I don't know when they would have taken it out. Because these are all still there. I need a different list. 7 canceled. Oh yeah, golf is gone. Controversially, notice that golf does not fit into the score more points than or do something faster than. So golf officially not a sport. Boom. There you go. Hot take here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be mad at me, all you golfing friends. We still love you. And everyone's favorite removed Olympic sport, tug of war. Yes. How exciting. Can you imagine if tug of war was still an Olympic sport? Like, Can you imagine getting like hyped for tug of war? That would be crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Wait, did they put tug of war is on there?
No, tug of war is a sport that they removed a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I was just like thinking about like, can you imagine if tug of war was still an Olympic event? Like, you imagine getting like hyped for like tug of war USA versus Brazil? Like, what?
Hold on. I want to see.
That'd be crazy.
Let's see here. Sports no longer in the Olympics. Tug of war. I don't know what rogue is. Cricket, crochet, polo.
Oh, croquet.
Croquet.
Yes. Oh, normal polo
basquet.
with the horse. Yeah.
Basquet, pelota. What's that? A sport with ancient roots in which teams of two players used a curved basket to playing a ball against a wall in a racquetball-like game.
Isn't that called highlight?
That's not what it's called in this.
Oh.
Let me click on.
Well, basket de pelota is basketball, so I was very confused by that. But yeah, it's that big herb. Yeah, I think it's also called highlight, and it's like it's like racquetball, but it's longer, and they like fling it. You remember when we were kids, and those little like in PE, those little like curved plastic things that you throw the wiffle ball with?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but bigger.
Oh.
And you could like zing it really hard in a like racquetball court. So that would be
something similar. Okay.
Yes. I just want to see international exhibition tug of war now. I think that'd be hilarious.
I'd love it. Oh, are you talking?
Collin, while you're gone dealing with dogs, I decided officially, I declared golf not a sport. So there you go. That's what you missed while you were gone.
Wow, your grandmother, words with you.
It doesn't fit into the categories of score more points than or go faster than. So not a sport.
I mean, if it's score more points by having fewer points.
No, it doesn't count.
Oh.
No. We're talking about axed Olympic sports that are no longer there.
Oh, did you see motorboating from 1906? They only did it.
Motorboating.
Yeah,
not motorboating. No.
1906. They were like, "Oh, these motor things are amazing. What's this is
great."
No, never mind.
I just like we were also talking about that. I like that tug of war is on the list. Like, no more tug of war. Dang it, so sad. One of my favorite things about the Olympics that I was thinking about the other day, because I was watching swimming, is of course Rowdy Gaines on commentary, because he gets like so amped about swimming things. Like he will just all of a sudden be screaming like, ah! It's so funny.
What? Yeah.
It's fun to listen to him just like go ham, like screaming about swimming. It's very exciting.
That is part of it too. Of I could never imagine what it takes to prepare for one of those events, because I mentioned the whole like personal interest or human interest stories, the random fact that they have on hand for each person and as part of the team. You know, I'm sure they have to prepare more for some of the more high profile ones, but randomly they'll be like, number 17, Zeke. He grew up playing this with his niece, with his cousins in Saskatchewan, and
yeah, like wait,
how did you know?
What?
Why do you have that on hand? And they're like, oh, it's just, I don't know, like random facts that they'll just drop. That I'm like, I know you've got a big.
Well, that's also partly because one of the commentators, they always have like the network random commentator, right? And then like the other person is like the expert that's like,
yes,
whatever season that sport has or whatever events that sport has, he's the guy that commentates on that. So like they know everything all the time, and you're like,
yeah. which is good.
Which is also weird because like, well, yeah, I don't hear about these sports ever.
Right.
And then like, but they're out there existing somewhere because these people know about it, and it's just not given to me in a manner that I can digest normally. So like, I don't know anything about these people, but this small group does because they're like in the, you know, they know everything about it all the time. So it's weird. It's like hidden from me for a lot of the year. Like water polo is hidden from me. I can't watch it.
Right. Well, or when they start breaking out some of the speaking of water polo, some of the strategies behind it of like, oh, you can really see in how the USA, women's team is powering back down the pool there to the other side, that they're really trying to conserve their energy in their strokes because they've got some big games coming up because they don't want to basically they were saying like, oh, we don't want to dominate too much in these first initial ones because we need to conserve.
It's a long haul tournament, right?
Exactly.
But you're watching, you're like, they are? Or when you watch something like handball, right?
Yeah.
You're like, they're like giving you all these like handball strategy, which is one of the things I like about it, is those sports you don't get to see because you're listening to the commentator tell you all about handball strategy, and you're like, okay,
sure,
yeah, okay, I'm following you. Like, I think I understand. Like that. I like that aspect too. Like trying to piece together how this sport works from like the play-by-play commentary person telling me what's happening. Like, they can't do that. Okay, let me see. So it's been fun. I really like it, and I've just been having fun hanging out, watching the same Olympics.
Right. No, the kids have thoroughly been enjoying it, and it's been fun to watch them. Noah will get really into them, where he'll sit there and he'll stare really intently, and he'll take his little hands and they'll be kind of like clutched in these little fists as he's watching really intently. And I'll come over and be like, "Bud, are you nervous? Are you anxious about what's going on?" And he'll be like, "No." And then I'll just put my hand on his lap, and then he'll hold my hand. Like,
super.
I don't know. Like
super invested in that beach volleyball game, right? Like, just kidding.
Like 100%.
Oh boy.
It's just really cute to watch. And then the difference between them, well, we were watching the platform dives because Lillian and Noah have been going off the diving board at the pool recently.
Yes.
And watching them flip and stuff, and we'll go, do you guys think you could do that? Would that look like something you could do? Noah immediately is like vigorously shaking his head from side to side, like, no, there's no way I can do that. And Lillian's looking at you like,
Lily's like, heck yeah, let's go.
Obviously, what do you? Jeez, like, to everything that we've watched, she's like, yeah, obviously I could do that. Why are you still asking me?
Watch out for that front tuck pike position next time you go to the pool, right? Just bust it out.
No, that's what I'm waiting for. She'll be like, oh no, seriously, like, well, I think I showed you. Like, we watched one floor exercise for gymnastics, and she like cleared her room, made a little seating for us to do, and was like practicing her routine, and then was showing us of like how she did it and what the next move was and what you were supposed to do, and then like, it was like.
Oh no,
it's great.
So we'll probably be signing up for gymnastics too.
There you go. Sweet.
Yeah.
It'll help her diving. It'll be good.
Oh yeah. Be fine.
Good. Help on that corkscrew, right? That little.
All about confidence.
It's true. I like synchronized diving too. That's the other one that's fun to watch, just because you're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
It's a very impressive thing to stare at. Like, how do you do that?
Exactly. We watched the women's synchronized diving, and the two Chinese ladies that did it, they were like 14 and 15. It was like, from right out of the gate, just utterly and completely dominated the entire. It was insane to watch them. Where like they would do the camera angle from the side, and you could barely tell there were two people twisting through the air. You're like,
Yeah, it's nuts.
what? Like, yeah. And I, of course, then
That's the other crazy thing about. You go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to change it. So go ahead.
Oh, well, so they're doing the platform diving, and before we start, I'm like, oh my gosh, have you seen the video of the guy who does the backflip off of this and slams his head into the platform? And Megan,
yeah, Greg Louganis, right?
Yeah.
No. And I was like, oh, well, then don't think about that. Watch these people do the dives. And then every time they jump, Megan would like flinch, and she was like, why'd you have to tell me that?
Yeah. They always talk about that. It's weird. They like always bring it up or show it. Sometimes they show it. They're like, oh, hey, this is the anniversary of Greg Louganis bashing his head on the dartboard. Like, wow, guys, thanks. That's what by the time I'd be like, thanks a lot. Thanks for bringing that up again. Thought we were over that. Thought we were. Excuse me. Well, hope you have some time to watch the Olympics this week, Aaron. Hope you'll get some good Olympic action.
We'll see how much time I got. See if I got a TV in my classroom. Maybe I can set it up and watch something.
Bust up some of those highlights online. That'd be it. You can get the highlight clips like Noah and Lily. Did he leave again?
He did. Oh,
I think
I'm
Colin
back.
did. Colin?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say we'd probably be done. So
Sorry. Yeah, I have dogs who are anxious.
all right. Well,
yes.
we'll let you go tend to them. And
Yep. Thank you. And we will start our Olympic reporting for the next Summer Olympic coming up.
we'll have Winter Olympics next year
Well, yeah,
because we got delayed.
yeah.
So boom. There you go.
It's gonna be really weird.
Yeah, it'll be back to back. Bam, bam. It'll be real
Well,
quick.
Let's plan.
More late Olympic highlights next week, and then whatever else happens.
So not,
There you go. Next week, top 5 favorite Olympic events to watch. Go. Boom.
Okay.
Got it.
I like it.
and you can't just throw curling out there to be that guy, okay?
I was going to say summer Olympic events. Stick with the theme. There you go.
You're just gonna put that off for one more year.
That's true, because curling's obviously on my list. Boom. Go USA Curling. Woo.
Okay. Next week, top 5 favorite Olympic events, Summer Olympic events.
There you go.
Top 5.
So we'll have some time to actually watch some more.
This is all in preparation for our sweet network deals. We've come hot off of our Shark Week episode.
Obviously.
We are going straight into
Olympic coverage.
for the Olympics coverage.
It's true. I like it.
Total network domination.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
I like it.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.